expanding brackets. Okay, so expanding brackets. This is the opposite process of factorizing. Okay, so we've talked about factorizing, finding common things, and we end up putting things into brackets. If we are expanding, we are doing what? Sorry. We're doing what? Pardon? Does our expression end up with a bracket?
No.
So we are removing brackets. Okay, so we are removing brackets. So this means to remove a bracket or brackets. If a value or term is outside of the bracket, then every term inside is multiplied by that value or term. One thing to be careful of is to check that the sign attached to each term. So we have to be careful when we're expanding. We need to look at the signs. Should our value be positive? Should our value be negative? Okay. So if I were to expand 4 bracket x minus 6, we have to multiply both the x and this value here by the 4. Now, this value here, what value is it? It's negative 6, okay? So when we do 4 multiplied by that, we need to take that into account. So each term is multiplied by the 4, so we're going to have 4x. We're then going to multiply the 4 and the negative 6. What's 4 lots of negative 6?
24.
Whoa, that's quite a long time, peeps. So we've got our final answer, hopefully very straightforward, of 4x minus 24. Okay? Next one. We've got 2y in front of this one. So we've got 2y multiplied by 7. That's our first one here. And then we've got 2y multiplied by negative 3y. Okay, so that's our 2 things that we're doing, 2 multiplications. What's 2y multiplied by 7?
14y.
And then we've got positive 2y multiplied by negative 3y. So what's positive 2 multiplied by negative 3?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. And then we've got y multiplied by y. Y squared. So our final answer is 14y subtract 6y squared. No, it's divided.
I messed up though.
How did you get to
I don't know. I don't know what I was looking at actually.
Okay, are we happy with that?
Yes.
Next one. Negative 5p bracket 60. So negative 5p multiplies first of all by the 60. We've then got negative 5p multiplied by negative 7. So I'm separating my 2 things here. So negative 5p multiplied by 60. Negative 5 multiplied by 6.
Negative 30.
Negative 30. And P and D, do they join together? No, we just write them
DP.
next to each other. Why would we write DP, Sarah? Good girl. DP because it's alphabetical order.
Would it have to be like that?
If you wrote PD, it would be harsh to get it marked wrong, but let's try and keep into the habit of putting them in alphabetical order. Okay, well, so just be careful here. So we've got negative 5p multiplied by negative 7. Georgie?
30 plus 30.
So it's going to be plus 35p. Okay?
That could be answer.
I was
So like the plus sign in between brackets isn't really matter.
Oh, but that's not how. All of this information should be up with the other one. I put it next to the wrong example.
Miss Harrison.
Yeah.
Why was the one above that? When it was a plus sign, we had a takeaway sign. Can I do that?
No, I put it.
Because
Pardon?
why in that one then there's a plus sign and a takeaway sign?
Because when you have a positive multiplied by a negative, what do you get?
Oh, negative.
Next x1. You've got 3 terms inside the bracket. Does that change anything?
No.
Everything is still multiplied by the 2. So we've got 2 lots of 9a. What's that?
45.
We've got 2 lots of negative 3b.
Negative 6.
And we've got 2 lots of d. You said wait.
I usually say
Abby.
Why are we waiting, Abby?
I don't understand where the negative 6b, how do we do that? I don't understand how we did it.
Sorry, it's in green. So let's have a look for the green marks. What do we do when we're expanding? Everything inside the bracket gets what?
Multiplied.
Multiplied by the value or letter in the front. Natasha, pretend. So what's in front of the bracket?
2.
So what are we going to do when we're expanding that middle term? We're going to do 2. What did you say happens? They are multiplied by
Negative 3.
negative 3b. Okay, so what's 2 multiplied by negative 3?
I don't know.
What's 2 multiplied by 3? And when you've got a positive and a negative multiplying together, what's your answer going to be?
Negative.
So what do you think the answer is going to be?
Negative 6b.
Yep. So the negative 6 came from these 2, and then the b is just there because there's no other letter involved. Okay?
Add the 6b to 2b.
Well, that's a very good question. Let's open it up to the floor. Can we add the negative 6b and the 2d?
No.
They're not
They're not the same
They're not the same letters.
and 2b.
They're not like
Sorry.
Okay? So, all right with that, everybody? Okay, if there was some kind of simplifying that could happen here, then there may be simplifying here. But if these are all different, they will all be different in your final answer. Okay, so try and make sure that you're not simplifying things that shouldn't be.
Just to verify, the question would stay the same if it was like, say it was 18A, 6B, and then 2B, would it stay the same, or would you put a complementary order?
You can just leave it that. It's only normally when things are as a term themselves, you write that thing out. Okay, I've lost my page. Goodness. Okay, expand and simplify. So expanding, hopefully, okay, yes? Sometimes we may be then asked to simplify something. So these are the situations that n squared was just saying, can you then join stuff together? So you always have to look to see if you can. Now, my first example here, we've got 11t plus 2 plus 3 bracket 7 minus 2t. Okay. Now, I'm hoping that you're all comfortable and can see that these two here have no bracket. So we would just leave them alone to start with. The only thing that has a bracket attached to it is this. Okay, so the positive 3, the plus 3, is the only thing that has the bracket attached to it. You will see that.
Yeah.
Now, again, sometimes once we move on to expanding 2 brackets, which I know you've done last year anyway, so when people look at 2 brackets, they think, oh, I need to start doing more, okay? The only thing that's attached to the bracket is the positive 3. So I'm leaving my 11t plus 2 alone. I'm now going to expand my bracket. So my 11t plus 2 just stays there. I'm multiplying 3 lots of 7.
21.
And I look at the signs. This is a plus 3, okay? So we're going to have plus 21. I'm then going to have positive 3 multiplied by negative 2t. Negative 6t. You're all happy with that? So that's my first step. So 3 lots of 7, 21. 3 lots of negative 2t is negative 6t. Yeah, so now I've said here, we can start to look at shapes. Okay? Now, I'm a shapes person. You can do colours, you can do anything. What I've done is I've drawn, square will spray it. I've drawn green squares around my terms that have a t attached to it. Note, I have included the signs. The signs are important because this minus sign here belongs to this term. So I've got 11t and I've got negative 6t. I've got positive 2, I've got positive 21. So they are the things that I'm allowed to join together because they are like terms. All right, M squared, you wanted to do this?
Okay, so you do 11t minus 60.
Which is?
5t.
Just 5t.
And then you do positive 2 plus 21, which is positive 23.
Lovely. Okay? Now, this is my question to make sure that you're paying attention. Again, I'll do something here in class and everyone's smiling and nodding and writing it down. As soon as they go off to try and do it themselves, they ignore the signs. Okay? So, the sign is important. I read here, 11t. Take away 6t. Gave me 5t. Yes? Positive 21 plus, positive 2 plus 21. Positive 23.
I always start doing negative and do the 60, so why is it not positive and negative?
That's when you're multiplying and dividing. Adding, subtracting, whole different ball game. When you're adding, subtracting, look to see where you start. You're starting at 11t. You are taking away 6t. So you're moving left along the number line 6 spaces. You end up at 5. Okay? But that's a very valid thing, and that's something that often people get confused with. That's why it's hard to get out of someone's head 2 negatives make a positive. Okay? Because that's only when you're multiplying and dividing. Okay?
Oh, really?
If you are adding 2 negative numbers, your answer is going to be more negative. So it's going to be a negative answer. So you scrap those 2 negatives and 1 of each for the adding and subtracting. Completely different.
For this method, I know you said the test was a long way away, but will we be able to bring in like colors and stuff?
Yes.
Because usually we're only allowed like a pencil.
You're allowed highlighters.
You're allowed highlighters.
Not sure I've ever restricted what you can have.
Yeah.
But sure. You can say that. Right, okay, here. The only thing that's left on its own to start with is this bad boy here. Again, I have seen it too many times not to mention it. I don't want to mention it and you start doing it and you have thought about it. However, too many people try and join the 6 and the 3 together first. When we're doing anything in maths, what do we always follow? There's maths, whatever letter you've got. But there is a bracket here, so we must deal with the bracket first. The only thing that's attached to the bracket is the negative 3, okay? So we leave the 6 alone to start with. Imani, are you asking a question or are you trying to answer something? Sure.
So we 6.
Be careful.
No, as in like the 6 for that. Minus 6.
Oh, this,
Yeah.
roger that.
It's minus 6.
Good, and how did you get that?
I did my negative 3 plus 2.
I don't think you did.
Time.
So we've got negative 6p. So that's our first term. And then what did you have in mind?
Plus 24.
And how did you get plus 24?
Negative 3 times negative 3.
Good, because 2 negatives multiplied together gives a positive answer. Okay, so that's where the rule comes in. We can say that, otherwise it all goes horribly wrong. Now I've written that here, so I've got things that I could join together. I can join my 6 and my positive 24. Is there anything else I can join my p with? No. So that just stays there. So my 6, and again we read it in the same way we should. 6 plus 24. Sarah.
So I have a question.
Right.
Fed mass. What are the indices?
Powers. Exponents.
Like just little numbers.
Like outside of bracket,
Like square and cube.
Power.
Wait, so why would you say fed mass?
Exponent.
plus 2x, right?
It's up on the wall.
Miss Harrison, aren't indices full numbers?
Oh, gosh, your father's So we did the last question because that was very.
Alright, ladies. So expand and simplify this. Now, these are the ones that loads of people go, oh, there's two brackets, foil, black foil, I can do that. But you do not use foil for this because there is this thing in between. Okay, so that big plus sign tells me that the two brackets are not touching each other. Okay, we only use foil when the two brackets are touching each other. If they're not touching each other, we have to expand the two things separately. Okay, is that clear? Again, as I said, been in this game a long time, I've seen it all before. I'm trying to help you by bringing up these things to help you avoid doing the same things wrong. So, we've got to expand this bracket first. So we've got 2t multiplied by 4, so what would that give us? 8t. I'm going to go straight to the answer. So 8t. Okay, and then you've got 2t multiplied by negative t.
Negative 2t squared.
Lovely. I'm keeping that in green. Okay, so I've got that separate. Now, I've got my 5, the plus sign in red. But who does that plus sign belong to? The 5t. So I'm thinking positive 5t. So I've got positive 5t multiplied by 2t. Amber, what's positive 5t multiplied by 2t? 10t squared. You're multiplying it. 10t squared, okay? Is that positive or negative? Positive, good. So we're going to write plus 10t squared. So that's the first term. So Amber, you can keep going. We've now got positive 5t multiplied by positive 7. So what is it, plus or minus? Plus. Good. For someone who has a pleasantly loud voice, that was ridiculously quiet. Okay, you did it right. Yes, you did it right. Safe space. Safe space. Okay. Right. 8t minus 2t squared plus 10t squared plus 35t. That's our first step. Okay. Now we're looking for common terms. I want to see you recognizing the signs in front of them. My 8t joins with my positive 35t. My negative 2t squared joins with my positive 10t squared. So, I've got 8t plus 35t. What's 8t
43.
plus 35t? 43t. I've then got, be careful here, negative 2t squared plus 10t squared.
12t squared.
No.
T squared.
Ladies. Shh. Let's take it one step at a time. We've established that my t squared is my like term. So my thing is going to have a t squared. Okay? That's my term. That's the thing we can join together. I'm now saying I've got negative 2. So imagine you're starting at negative 2 on the number line. You're adding on 10 to it. Where do you end up? Atlee? 8. Good girl. Plus 8t squared. Note, this does not change to t to the power 4. That only happens when we multiply terms. Okay? Is this clear?
Yeah.
We understand. I heard a few people saying the wrong things. I'm hoping that you're looking at, oh, right, I see what I did wrong. Okay?
Yes, 3 more topics.
Yep.
Can I use my
Yes. Oh.